The night before the wedding was dark and heavy. The moon hid behind clouds, and the wind blew as if it was whispering secrets to the trees. David, a young man with kind eyes and a strong heart, could not sleep. His mother had told him, "Tomorrow you will marry Nene. She is beautiful, gentle, kind, and chosen for you by the elders." David wanted to believe it. He wanted to believe that his life would be filled with joy, laughter, and children running around their house. But something inside his chest felt heavy. He remembered the old man at the market who had pulled him aside and said, "David, not all that shines is gold. Look closely before you give your life away." The words had stayed in his mind, circling like birds over a dead tree. The village of Umueke had prepared for the big day. Drums had been tested, chairs rented, canopy set. Palm wine had been brewed. Goats and chickens had been tied for the feast. Children sang and danced in the open field, while women pounded yam with songs that carried into the night. The whole village waited to see David walk down the aisle with Nene. But as David sat in his room, staring at the ceiling fan, he thought about the strange things he had noticed. Sometimes when Nene smiled, her teeth seemed too sharp. Sometimes when she thought no one was watching, her eyes glowed faintly like hot coal in the dark. And one evening when he had walked her home, he heard her whispering to the river, but no one was there. "Maybe I am only afraid," he told himself. "Maybe it is just my mind playing tricks." The next morning, the drums began before the sun rose. The air was filled with smoke from roasted meat. Villagers dressed in bright ankara and beads. The elders sat under the big canopy, their faces painted with white chalk. The women clapped and sang, "David is a man today. He will take his bride." David stood tall, wearing a red cap and a white cloth tied around his waist. Beads hung from his neck, and his hands shook as he held the staff his father gave him. His friends slapped his back saying, "Be strong, be happy. Nene is the most beautiful woman in the land." Then Nene arrived. She wore a shining ankara of gold and red, and her hair was decorated with bead and fresh flowers. Her face was calm, too calm, like the river before a storm. When she walked, people gasped at her beauty. Even the elders nodded with approval. But David's heart beat fast. For a moment, just a blink, he saw her shadow moving differently from her body. Her shadow stretched long, too long, curling like smoke behind her. He blinked again and it was gone. "Walk," his mother whispered. "Take your bride." So David began to walk down the aisle, drums beating, people clapping, children dancing. He tried to smile, but his eyes never left Nene. And then, as they reached the middle of the aisle, the ground shook. Just a little, but enough to make the glass of palm wine tremble. Nene turned her head slowly to him, and for the first time, David saw her eyes clearly in the sunlight. They were not the eyes of a woman. They were the eyes of something else, something that did not belong in this world. He froze, his feet heavy like stones. The drums did not stop. The songs did not stop. But inside him a voice screamed, "David, you are walking down the aisle with a demon." He could not turn back now. Everyone was watching. The feast had begun. The elders had spoken. His fate was sealed. The drums grew louder as David stood frozen. His eyes locked on Nene. She smiled at him, the kind of smile that was supposed to make a groom's heart leap with joy. But for David, it felt like sharp thorns pressing into his chest. Her lips curved sweetly, but her eyes, those strange glowing eyes, seemed to burn through him. "David!" the crowd shouted with cheer. "Drink the palm wine with your bride." The palm wine was the most important part of the marriage. If David drank from the glass of palm wine and passed it to Nene, and she drank after him, they would be bound together. No elder, no priest, no spirit could break that tie. The glass of palm wine was handed to David. His hand shook as he took it. The thick, sweet smell of the wine rose into his nose, making his stomach turn. He glanced again at Nene. For just a second, he saw her tongue flicker in her mouth like a snake's tongue. He quickly looked away, his skin crawling. The whole village was waiting. The drummers beat harder. The women clapped. The children shouted his name. David! He raised the glass of palm wine to his lips. The wine touched his tongue, warm and heavy. He swallowed once, then handed it to Nene. Her hands were cold when they brushed against his. She raised the glass of palm wine and looked at him while she drank. But David noticed something strange. None of the wine spilled from her lips, yet her throat didn't move. It was as if the wine had disappeared without entering her. The crowd cheered, thinking nothing of it. But David's heart pounded louder than the drums. The marriage was done. That night, the feast roared through the village. Fires burned high. Meat roasted on long sticks. Dancers painted in red clay stamped their feet, making the ground shake. The elders poured libations, calling blessings from the ancestors. David sat among his friends trying to smile, but his eyes kept searching for Nene. She sat across her friends, her golden ankara glowing like flames. She didn't laugh. She didn't eat. She just sat there watching everyone, her eyes never blinking. At one point, David's little sister, Ife, ran to Nene with a piece of meat in her small hand. "Sister, eat," she said happily. Nene bent down, took the meat, and placed it in her mouth. But instead of chewing, the meat turned black like burnt wood and crumbled into ash. Ife's eyes widened. She dropped the stick and ran back to David, her body shaking. "Brother," she whispered, hiding behind him. "Her mouth is not right." David pulled Ife close. He wanted to believe she was only a child seeing things. But deep inside he knew she was right. Later, when the drums slowed and people began to rest, Nene came to David. Her steps were quiet, almost too quiet. She touched his shoulder. Her skin was still cold. "Husband," she said softly. "Come. The house is ready." David followed her, his feet heavy as stones. The villagers clapped and sang behind him. "Go, David. Go with your bride." Inside the house, the firelight danced on the walls. The bed was covered with new bedsheet. Nene sat down and smiled again, tilting her head like a bird. "Now we are one," she whispered. David sat far from her, his mind racing. "Who are you?" he finally asked in a low voice. Nene's smile widened. For a moment her face changed. Her skin rippled like water, and David saw another face beneath it. A face with dark cracked skin, eyes burning red, and teeth too sharp for any human mouth. Then it was gone, and she looked normal again. "I am your wife," she said sweetly, as if nothing had happened. David's breath caught in his throat. The words of the old man at the market rang in his ears. "Not all that shines is gold. Look closely before you give your life away." But it was too late. He had walked down the aisle. He had shared the palm wine. He was bound. And now David knew the truth. He was married to a demon. David lay awake that night, his body stiff, his mind running like a frightened goat. Nene lay beside him, her breathing soft and steady, but something about it was wrong. It was too steady, too perfect, like the rhythm of a drum that never missed a beat. He turned his head slowly, afraid to see her face, but even more afraid to look away. The moonlight crept in through the cracks of the house. It fell across Nene's skin, and David's eyes widened. Her skin shimmered faintly like scales of a fish. When she moved, the shimmer disappeared, and she looked human again. David's heart pounded so loudly he feared she would hear it. He wanted to run. He wanted to escape. But he could not. His feet felt nailed to the floor. His life was tied to hers now, and everyone in the village had witnessed it. Suddenly, Nene's eyes opened. They glowed faintly in the darkness, catching the moonlight like a cat's. "Why are you awake, husband?" she asked softly. Her voice was sweet, but under it David thought he heard a hiss. I could not sleep," David whispered. "Then rest," Nene said, touching his chest with her cold hand. "You will need your strength. The days ahead will be long." Her words made no sense, but David did not ask. He closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. He waited, listening. And after a while, he heard it, the sound of her rising from the bed. Her footsteps were silent, but the air shifted as she moved. He opened one eye just a little. Nene was standing in the center of the room, her back to him. She lifted her hands slowly, and David saw shadows crawling along the walls. The fire in the lamp flickered though there was no wind. Nene began to speak in a language David had never heard before. The words were thick, heavy, like stones being dragged through water. The shadows grew longer, swirling around her. David's throat went dry. He wanted to scream, but no sound came. He wanted to move, but his body was frozen. Then Nene bent down and touched the ground. The earth beneath the room cracked open slightly, and a faint red glow seeped through. A smell rose up, sharp and bitter, like something burnt long ago. Nene whispered again, and from the crack, David saw eyes, many eyes glowing, watching. David's heart nearly stopped. He shut his eyes tight, biting his lip so hard it bled. He prayed silently to the ancestors. Save me. Save me from what I have done. After some time, the whispering stopped. The glow faded. When David opened his eyes again, the room was normal. Nene lay back beside him, her eyes closed as if she had never moved. But David knew what he had seen. The next morning, the sun rose golden over Umueke. Villagers called out blessings to the new couple. Women brought baskets of foodstuffs and fish to their house. Men clapped David on the back, laughing. But inside, David felt hollow. His little sister Ife came to him again, tugging his arm. "Brother," she whispered, her eyes wide. "I saw her. At night. She was not sleeping." David knelt to her level. "What did you see?" Ife shook her head quickly, tears filling her eyes. "I cannot say it. If I say it, she will hear me." David hugged her tightly. He wanted to protect her. He wanted to protect everyone. But how could he fight what he had married? Later that day, the old man from the market appeared at the edge of the village. He leaned on his crooked stick, his eyes sharp as knives. He called David aside when no one was looking. "I warned you," the old man said. "You are tied to her now. But listen, son, there is still a way." David's heart jumped. Tell me the way." The old man shook his head. "It is dangerous. And if you fail, the whole village will burn." David felt his chest tighten. "Then I must try. Tell me what to do." The old man looked at him long, then whispered, "You must discover her true name. Without it, she will own you. With it, you may break free." David's hands trembled. Her true name. He remembered the strange language she spoke at night. He remembered the shadows moving. He knew it would not be easy. But it was his only hope. As he turned back toward the room, he saw Nene standing in the doorway. Her face was calm, her eyes unreadable. She had been watching. And in that moment, David wondered, did she already know what he had been told? The village carried on with laughter, music, and the smell of cooking rice and pounded yam. But for David, the world had changed. Every drumbeat sounded like a warning. Every shadow stretched too far. And every time Nene's hand touched his skin crawled like ants were biting him. That night, after the feast, David sat outside their house. He pretended to carve a piece of wood, but his mind was far away. He thought about what the old man had said. You must discover her true name. How could he find it? How could he ask without her knowing? The thought of failing filled him with fear. If she discovered his secret, she could destroy him, or worse, destroy everyone he loved. Ife crept up to him quietly. She held a small glass of water in her hands. "Brother, drink," she whispered. David smiled weakly and took it. "Thank you, Ife." Her little eyes searched his face. "Brother, why do you look sad? Did she hurt you?" David shook his head. "Not yet," he said softly. Then he placed his finger on her lips. "But do not speak of this to anyone. Promise me." Ife nodded quickly, though her face showed fear. From the house, Nene's voice called, "David, come inside." It was gentle, like a wife calling her husband, but David felt the command in it. He stood slowly and turned to Ife. "Go to mother. Do not come here again at night." When David entered the room, Nene was sitting on the bed, her long hair falling over her shoulders. The light in the room made her skin glow golden. She looked beautiful, too beautiful. "Why do you sit outside when your wife waits for you?" she asked softly. "I only wanted to breathe the night air," David replied, forcing a smile. Nene tilted her head and studied him. Her eyes glowed faintly, just for a heartbeat. "Do you fear me, husband?" David's chest tightened. He wanted to shout yes, but instead he said, "No." Her smile spread slowly. "Good. For fear is useless between us. We are one now." She lay down and closed her eyes. But David could not sleep. He waited until her breathing deepened, then listened. Soon he heard it again, the whispers. Her lips moved, speaking that strange, heavy language. David leaned closer, straining to hear. The shadows began to move again. They twisted on the walls, stretching like long fingers. The earth gave a soft sigh, and the faint red glow returned through the cracks. David held his breath, praying she would not see him watching. Her voice rose and fell like waves on a river. And then, for just a moment, he thought he heard it, a name. It slid between her whispers, sharp and cold, like a knife across stone. He could not catch it fully, but he knew it was there. Her true name. His heart leapt. He had a chance. Suddenly, Nene's eyes flew open. She turned her head toward him. Her glowing eyes locked with his, and her mouth curved into a smile. "Did you hear me, husband?" she asked, her voice too soft, too calm. David froze, his throat dry. "No," he whispered. "I was only dreaming." Nene stared at him for a long, heavy moment. Then she laughed, a laugh so sweet that it made the hairs on his neck rise. "Dream well, David. For soon your dreams will be mine." The next morning, David went to the river to wash his face. His mother followed him, carrying a basket of clothes. She looked at him with worried eyes. "My son, you are not yourself. Your face is heavy. Is your bride not pleasing you?" David wanted to tell her the truth, to beg for help. But how could he? If he spoke against Nene, the whole village would call him cursed. The elders had blessed the marriage. To them Nene was perfect. He shook his head. "I am only tired, mother." But deep inside, David knew he could not hide forever. He had to find Nene's true name. Without it, his life, and maybe the life of his whole village, was already in her hands. As he rose from the river, a voice whispered behind him. The old man was there again, leaning on his stick. "Careful, son," he said. "She knows you are watching. The demon does not sleep. If you want her name, you must go where she is weakest, at the river when the moon is high. But beware. If she catches you, she will take your soul." David's blood ran cold. He nodded slowly. That night, as the moon began to rise, he knew what he had to do. He would follow her. The moon hung high over Umueke that night, round and bright like a watchful eye. The village was quiet. The drums had stopped, the fires had died, and the people slept in their houses. But David did not sleep. His heart beat hard in his chest as he lay on the bed beside Nene, pretending to sleep. He waited, and soon it began. Her breathing changed, soft at first, then too steady, too controlled. Her lips started to move, whispering those strange words again. The shadows flickered on the walls, and the house grew colder. Slowly, Nene rose to her feet. She did not look at him. She did not look anywhere. Her body moved as though something else was pulling her. She walked out into the night, her wrapper brushing the earth like a snake's tail. David waited until she was far enough, then followed her. His steps were quiet, careful. He kept to the shadows, holding his breath whenever she paused. The air felt heavy, filled with something unseen. She moved through the sleeping village, past the tall grass, past the empty market square, and toward the river. The Davidai River flowed wide and dark, its waters carrying secrets older than the village itself. No one dared come close at night. The elders always warned, "Do not linger by the river when the moon is awake." But that was exactly where Nene was going. David crouched behind a cluster of tall grass. His heart pounded so loudly he feared she would hear. He watched as Nene stepped into the riverbank. Her feet did not disturb the sand. Her reflection in the water was not the same as her body. While she looked like a woman standing there, her reflection showed something else. Something tall, thin, with red eyes and long sharp fingers stretching toward the water. David's chest tightened. He wanted to scream, but no sound left his mouth. Nene lifted her arms and began to chant in that strange language. The river stirred. Waves rippled though there was no wind. Fish leapt out, but their bodies were pale, lifeless, as if the water had stolen their souls. David leaned closer, straining to hear her words. If he could catch even a piece of her true name, he would have a chance. Then it happened. Her voice dropped low, deep, like a growl from beneath the earth. And between the strange words, David heard it again, a name. The sound was sharp and cold, yet heavy with power. Cut through the night air. His body trembled. He could not repeat it yet, but he knew it was her name. He reached for a stick on the ground, scratching the strange sound into the soil quickly before he forgot. His hand shook, the letters crooked and uneven, but it was enough. Suddenly the river roared. A shape rose from the water, huge and dark, with many eyes blinking all at once. The creature's voice was like thunder under the earth. "Daughter," it said, "why do you call me?" David's blood turned to ice. He pressed his body flat to the ground, praying they would not see him. Nene bowed low, her golden ankara glowing under the moon. "Father," she said in her strange tongue, "the marriage is done. The man is mine. Soon the village will follow." David's stomach twisted. His hands gripped the earth. His whole body shook with fear and rage. The dark figure rumbled with laughter, and the river shook. "Good. Keep him bound. Do not let him learn your name." David's breath caught. His heart nearly stopped. She already knew the danger of her name. The shadowy figure sank back into the water, and the river grew still again. Nene stood tall, her glowing eyes scanning the night. For a moment, David thought she had sensed him. Her head turned sharply toward the grass where he hid. David's body went cold. He did not breathe. He did not blink. Then, slowly, she turned back and walked toward the village. David waited until she was gone. His body trembled as he rose, his legs weak like yam leaves in the wind. He looked at the crooked marks he had scratched into the ground. The sound of her name echoed in his mind. He had it, or at least a piece of it. But he also had a new fear. If she knew he was searching for her name, if she discovered what he had learned, she would not spare him. And the village, the people he loved, would burn. As David walked back toward the houses, the voice of the old man seemed to whisper in his mind, "Not all that shines is gold. Look closely before you give your life away." Now David knew the truth. And he knew his fight had only just begun. David now holds a piece of Nene's true name, the only key that could free him from her grip. But she is already growing suspicious, her eyes sharper than ever, her whispers darker, her hold on the village stronger. If David makes one mistake, not only his life, but the lives of everyone he loves will be swallowed by the demon he has married. Will he discover her full name before she discovers his secret? Or has he already run out of time? If you want to know what happens next, drop a comment asking for part 2. Because the story has only just begun. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit that subscribe button for more powerful, emotional African stories. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and never stop believing in second chances. Hey my beautiful people, thank you so much for watching. Your support truly means the world to me. If you enjoy watching this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's grow this community together. See you. I appreciate you and I am so grateful you're here.